BPX TV Réseau, disponible partout et sur vos réseaux préférés. BPX TV Réseau, l'espoir de la culture haïtienne pour tout le monde.
Hello everyone, this is Longdon here on BPX TV Reseau on the Kelo show. On the Kelo show, we're here to talk about your future, what goals you have, and what you're looking to do with your life. Today's show, we're going to have two ladies talking to you about their story, and we're going to be right back after the word from our sponsors.
Tout le monde dans Miramar, Miami Gardens, Kelo City, Hollywood, Pembroke et La Trier. Ma clinique Paula, qui c'est Trinity Community Health Center, qui chita dans 3156 South University Drive dans Miramar. Trinity Community Health Center, c'est un nouveau modèle clinique côté où une solution pour toute maladie. Si tout problème mental, quel que soit l'âge, Timoun Kogramoun. En dans clinique, ça va un docteur et spécialiste qui parle langue Paula, cap edo éviter traiter maladie sucre, tension, cholestérol, oppression, maladie cœur et la trier. Ou même qui douleur dans zo et tout côté encore vini dans Trinity ou même jeune garçon qui fait bec à terre pas quitter mesdames yo grien dans sou pressé vini vite ou même qui a problème stress qui pas ka dormir qui pas ka fonctionner dans travail qui a problème alcool drogue vini n'a pédé tout ou même parent ti qui a problème attention pour apprendre l'école Trinity gain solution pour dans Trinity ou pas besoin d'argent pour tester ou bien joindre traitement pour sida la jaunisse et toute autre maladie ou qu'apprendre à affaires sexuelles courir vite vinn joindre nous dans Trinity Community Health Center 3156 South University Drive Miramar, ou bien relez-nous dans 754-217-3929. Nous là pour prendre soin tant que nous t'a prendre soin tête nous tout. Relez-nous Kounia, 754-217-3929. Trinity Community Health Center, c'est clinique Paula.
Commissionnaire Marlène Bastien, district 2, consulat d'Haïti dans Miami, avec BPX Production a présenté 5e édition Miami Fête Champagne à concours Enchanté Yol des Roses à Nessa.
Dans l'album solo Yol des Roses là, nous avons choisi 3 titres qui piquent pour concours ça. Tournez la romane, il n'y a que 3.
Vin participer pour gagner et dans 3 prix ça. Premier prix $1,500, deuxième prix $1,000 et troisième prix $500. Qui est-ce qui a remporté 3 prix ça?
Yol, c'est une femme totale. Yon artiste capital. Yon n'a pas tout mi-temps kilti haïtienne. Toute jeune fille qui voulait participer, fini.
Pour yon audio avec une vidéo, dans Miami Fête Champagne 2@gmail.com ou bien sur WhatsApp 786 642 35 35.
Fini inscrit, pressé. Non, BPX TV Réseau, 154-90 Nord-Ouest, 7e Avenue, Suite 106, Miami, Florida. Songez inscription a fini 15 juillet 2025.
Notez bien.
BPX Production a bail talent yo j'arrête pendant toute année.
Déjà, tout organisateur souhaitez bonne chance. Enjoy!
How are you guys doing today?
I'm doing fine, except that every day is a very trying day for most of us in America today because of our new administration that nothing is sacred anymore.
Okay. All right. So what kind of things do you feel are not sacred to you, that stands out the most to you?
Well, the number one is immigration. The number one is also how we should expect our government to be there for us instead of looking for ways to eliminate us or to marginalize us or to, in many ways, do things that are abominable to human beings in terms of their life. Right now we're struggling with the big budget, which would take away food and health care from the least of thee.
Oh my. Okay. And how about yourself?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well. As she said, there is a lot of concerns with the government and this administration that has affected us all collectively. And it is time that we come together so that we can come up with some solutions within this government, because we're watching our fundamental rights being taken away, snatched from us, our leadership being dismantled. And it's almost saddening and disheartening to see what America is coming into today.
Oh, wow, yes. I can definitely agree with that. And so, ma'am, you have a little bit of history here in South Florida, and you're dealing with different people, different backgrounds. Can you tell us a little bit about your history with the Haitian community and its beginnings here in South Florida?
Well, my beginnings happens because I worked for a labor union. So when you work for the labor union, it's like everybody is welcome. It's a big tent. It's like the Democratic Party. People who join deserve your support and services. And primarily, it was a government union. So in South Florida, we dealt with the state employees in Miami-Dade County, City of Miami Beach, West Miami, South Miami, Hollywood, okay, Hallandale, Dania Beach. So therefore, my exposure was to everybody. And so as an activist, you are involved with making sure that their life is better. Primarily, what I did was arbitrations and contract negotiations with the major small cities.
Okay.
So that involvement is when you start dealing with wages and terms and conditions of employment, it becomes very personal.
Yes, it is.
Extremely personal. And so you learn people and you find out what is in their best interest and trying to help them have a better life, a better future, to help change their life in many ways in terms of being able to have affordable schools, affordable homes, and
okay,
to afford to support their families and to raise them up. And so I've had a lifetime experience of doing that. So today, when it comes to immigration, then I can relate to every one of those communities, the Latins, the Haitians, the just now I'm finding out even people who had naturalization, if they have committed a crime, they can be deported. Yeah. So I'm very concerned for them. And then in dealing with the Haitian community and the Venezuelans and so forth, they're dealing with the TPS. And that was a contract. That was something the government offered to them. The people had expectations that it would last to a certain date. And now the script has been flipped. So, and I see in terms of initially that the immigration was to be about criminals. But no, people are not necessarily criminals. Some of them have been citizens, have been arrested and deported.
Okay.
So then that says to me there's insecurity. There is no rules. There's no regulations. So all of us are subject to the government flipping the script. Things that we took for granted, we believe that we had rights to as Americans. The biggest problem is not having due process.
Okay.
So that if you take away my rights, then I am a non-person. I'm not a human being. You don't see me as a person with values. So that's very, very upsetting, because if you can devalue my neighbor, then you can devalue me.
Understandable. Understandable. So how do you, when you take a look at your life's work, does it give you a feeling of fulfillment?
It does, because I know if I can convince the textbook salesman, when I got into this type of work, that if I can convince 18% of a community, I don't need 100.
Just 18.
I just need 18% to come together in unity, then we could achieve anything. A people united can never be defeated. So to change the future, to change the climate, and to take control of what we must do in order to stabilize the United States of America, we have 16 months and 20 days.
And what's going to happen in that time?
In November of 26, we will have an election. We will have the opportunity to change the face of government. That will mean that we can vote for senators. We have senators because of Secretary Rubio.
Okay.
We will be able to vote for that position as U.S. Senator.
Okay.
And every 2 years, all Congress people are up for election. So we can change those as well.
Okay.
So if we can change the Congress, and if we can change the Senate, then we can change what's happening coming out of the White House. We can take back control and stabilize and give people the security and the respect that they deserve as Americans.
Okay. And Pitchie, what do you think about the upcoming election?
I think that, as she said, that there is power in numbers, and knowing that if we come together, and as she said, she gives you the statistic 18%. And so we know that, and we believe that it will be a lot more, because this has affected everyone, every community. This administration has affected how we live, how we eat, how we take care of our families. Our health care has been challenged. Social Security has been challenged. The elderly.
Okay.
Every community you can think of, every age group you can think of has been affected. And this election is one of the most, and we always say that it becomes such a cliche, but we have to really take this at heart, because ultimately what we don't want to happen is for our communities to suffer at a greater loss. So it's something that we're working together so that we can get the people more involved, so that voters can have more of a turnout. As she said, when we flip these seats, and we're not talking about just locally, we're talking about all over the United States. These seats need to be flipped. We need to bring out the numbers so that it can empower those who represent us, so that change can happen. Because we understand we have one president, but we have many representatives. True. And so that those numbers are important, those representatives are important, and so that we're asking everyone to come together, because it may look like it's just an immigrant community today, but it may be your mother or your grandmother tomorrow. It may be your children that cannot go to the doctor. It may be the Social Security check that you depend on because of your disability. So it affects everyone, so that we must come together and flip these seats and come as a great coalition so that we can be able to change the government the way, because due process is important. Our fundamental rights are important. The Constitution that we believe and stand on, and we take pride on as Americans all over the world. It's what makes us America. And so we have to remember this is at our core. So this is what it takes to be able to change what is happening now in government.
We must take back America. Both of us are elected Democratic Executive Committee women. We're state committee women for Congressional 24. Frederica Wilson is our Congresswoman. Therefore, I'm African American, Pitchie's a Haitian American. We're bringing together. We have to bring all of us together and make sure that we understand that we're one. Because the things that are happening to this community, to our government, to our country, is happening to all of us.
Very true.
And that within itself, if we understand that, we must register. We must ensure that our voting registration is up to par, that there are no mistakes, because the new Republican supervisor for election has put 300,000 people on inactive. So if you're a voter, I know I vote every election. However, I need to make sure maybe there's something wrong with my signature. I cannot take for granted.
Yes.
And with that, we're going to take a little break here. And so you're watching BPX TV Reseau. This is the Kelo Show. We'll be right back after a word from our sponsors.
Good afternoon, Leah Realty. How may I help you? Leur besoin vendre yon kay, c'est pas courir les n'importe agent real estate pour vendre kay ou dans condition as is. Qui donc so ouais assez ça. Non, de préférence réparer kay ou avant ou vendre ni ou faire plus comme. Si vous besoin prêter 10 000, 15 000, 20 000 dollars pour faire réparation, relez Léo Wilty dans 786 306 03 90. Léopold Evaris après tout comme pour réparer kay là et vendre ni pour vous. La charge seulement 2%. Relez 786 306 03 90.
Dade Institute of Technology and Health can help you pursue a career with unlimited possibilities. Achieve your goals and learn the latest skills to help you become the best caregiver in the nation. With our hands-on learning programs and qualified instructors, we educate the next generation of nurses to become leaders in their field. We offer online and classroom training with the latest technologies. Home health aid, HHA in 3 weeks. Certified nursing assistant, CNA, in as little as 6 weeks. Earn an associate degree in RN, registered nurse, in 18 months. Licensed practical nurse, LPN, in 11 months. Our goal is to prepare you to pass the NCLEX exam in your first try. Dade Institute of Technology and Health is approved by the Florida Board of Nursing and is licensed by the Florida Department of Education. Secure a future in nursing now and call Dade Institute of Technology and Health at 305-671-3666 or visit us online at dadeinstituteoftechnology.com.
Thank you, everyone. We're back here. You're watching BPX TV Reseau. This is the Kelo Show. And I have my two special guests. And, ma'am, no, when we took the break here, you were talking about...
I was speaking in terms of the indecisiveness, the fact that we cannot depend on America as it used to be.
True.
And so as I look at what's happening to the Latins, what's happening to the Haitians, but for the grace of God goes me. And we say that we're a country that believes in God. The Ten Commandments says we are to treat and love our brothers and our neighbors as ourselves. I don't see the love anymore. My heart cries. I just feel so much empathy and compassion because suppose it was me, and it could be me. And I know that a good example is of Canada. Canada was our friend. And look, the script was changed against them. They did nothing to deserve what has happened. Yeah. Every country has no faith in America. So I, as a citizen, why should I have faith that I too will survive? And the only survival I have is to look forward to the change that I can make. If I can convince my neighbors, my friends, and the general community to make sure that you are registered properly to vote, that this can end 16 months and 20 days. January the 20th, new elected officials will be sworn in.
Okay.
We can take back America.
Now, I'd like to ask you, so you mentioned about registering to vote. If a person out there watching today is interested, like, okay, I want to register to vote, do you have any tips or ideas of what they should do to take action to make sure they're registered to vote and know how to properly cast their vote to best protect their own interests?
The proper registration is to simply pick up the phone, call 311 in Miami-Dade County, and ask to be transferred to the supervisor of election. Over the phone, they can update your registration, let you know the status of your registration. It's as simple as dialing 3 numbers, 311 in Miami-Dade County. They will reach the supervisor of election and they can find out what is their status.
Okay.
And so that is so important. It's a simple thing. You know, all of us are busy. We like having fun. We like being entertained. And plus we have the children. And plus we have the duties that you have in everyday life. But don't forget, for your future, 311 is in your future right now.
Okay.
Okay, and I also wanted to add, as far as that too, for the younger people that are in technology, we also have it where you can even look online now to see your status in the local county that you reside in. They also have a state website that they can go into. So it's as simple as Google. So you can call 311 locally where you live, or you can Google your Department of Election, your local. So if you're in Miami-Dade County, Broward County, Orange County, you know, Duval County, you Google and say, and you look up your information for those who don't want to be on the phone to see if you're registered to vote. You put your name and date of birth. I've found in working in elections and politics that a lot of times people are not even aware because they're registered in high school and they've never voted. And so and when you ask them, are you registered to vote? They're like, no. And then when you put in their information, they're registered to vote. They've moved, they didn't update their address. And so those are very important. So their district has changed. So maybe you're living in an area that you can flip the seat, as we say, or change who represents you. You're, you know, I want to debunk the belief that my vote doesn't matter. You know, we've gotten to a place where we feel that if because it may not have turned out in the past when you voted, but believe me, it is impactful, you know, and the numbers and the turnout, whether you're young or old, whether you're new voter or whether you're an old voter, your numbers matters, your voice matters. It's like, I always often use the analogy when people are having local issues in their area. Let's say the street lights are out, or there's a bump in the road and that you want that pothole fixed. And they'll come to people who are as us, that's our activists, and they always say, you know, I need help, and you know, the city official is not filling them out. And I said, do you know who represents you? One, because they probably haven't voted, or they don't even know which direction to take, or that they didn't vote at all. And I say, see what happens when you don't vote? You lost your voice. Not that they can't speak. Of course, we have that right to speak, but it makes you even feel the more confident to speak when you know that you have empowered that leader to be able to represent you. And so I empower them back with that vote. I give them and I show them the power of voting, you know, to be able to speak out, to speak about what it is. And so, and it's something that I wanted to bring back to our community. Growing up, born and raised in Florida, I realized that how many and other people such as Ms. Judd that fought for us to vote, you know, how they took a lot for us to get to this point where our voices are heard. Although my parents are of Caribbean, I am a recipient of their strength and a recipient of their work, their hard work. And so I continue to encourage that, and my goal is to continue to work with them, and also to make them proud, to show that their work wasn't in vain. You know, so these are the things that we can do to show that our voice matters, and these changes that needs to happen, it starts with us, because I look at what they did, the work that they have done. This is what inspires me to continue to do the work, and this is what inspires me to show that we can do it again. We can do it again. We can change the seat. We can inspire others to change the way America is looking at what we're facing now. We can do this. We can do this.
It's in our hands.
Yes.
It is in your hands. All you have to do is say, I will vote.
I will vote.
I will vote. It's as simple as that. It doesn't cost you anything but a little time.
Yep.
You can go to your polling precinct. You can ask for an absentee ballot. And those of us who have had absentee ballots, who thought that we never had to re-register, you have to re-register every time now. Don't think that registration you did 10 years ago, or even 1 year ago, is valid. You have to re-register. And why is that? Because the powers that be wants to take your vote away from you. So with that in mind, if they want to take it, obviously it's valuable.
Yeah.
You have to look at it. You can't say my vote don't count,
yeah,
because your vote counts so much. It's so valuable. It's money. It's existence. It's power to be who you want to be and who you are. And I tell you, that the 300,000 supervisor of elections that put on people is inactive, there's a reason for that. They don't want you to vote. So when people want to take something away from you, they're not taking it away from you because nobody's taking trash.
Yeah.
All right.
Nobody's taking trash. They're taking things of value, and things of value is your vote. The sheriff, the county sheriff, we had a black gentleman running for that position. In the property appraiser, we had another person. She was Latin, and then we had someone running for the clerk of courts. They did not get enough votes in the primary.
Oh, okay.
To be there in the runoff in November when the actual final vote takes place could have become those elected persons.
All right, so ma'am, so we have run out of time for today's show. This has been very interesting. I hope to take up this conversation again sometime. This is Kenny Longdon with the Kelo Show. You're watching BPX TV Reseau. And in closing, you did mention about a group that you're a part of, that you want to let the people know how they can reach out to the group if they want to get involved or volunteer.
Okay. Again, my name is Pitchie Escarment, and we have an organization that we've put together called Rising Together Coalition, and we are working in the community to do a number of things. We're working with candidates, we're working with voters registration, we're doing seminars, webinar, whatever it is, so that we can get the black votes out. Doesn't matter what community you belong to, as long as we work together so that we can have the turnout that we need to show that the black vote does count.
And that's important. We regularly register people. We never stop. Even when the primaries are not, or the general is not going on. Voter registration should always, we go into the schools. We go into the churches. If you call us, or we look for events, we go to Jazz in the Gardens.
Okay.
We go to any place there is people gathering and try to get them to register vote, to take time. Most of the time they're busy wanting to party, but that's okay. We're there to say, we need your help. So rising together, we, in unity, we believe that we can make that difference.
Okay, and would there have to be any website or social media to contact? Or
We have an email, risingtogethercoalition@gmail.com, and that's where you can find the information. Phone number you can reach at 305-915-9200. Ms. Judd, you're welcome to give them your number as well.
305-394-7305. Call me 724. I prefer text. If you text me, I know exactly what you want.
Okay. So I want to thank you for having me, being on the show today.
Thank you for having us. Thank you for having us.
Thank you for having us.
All right, everyone. That concludes today's show. I do want to thank you for watching. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the BPX TV Reseau YouTube channel and like us on Facebook. And make sure, if you're looking for some great professional marketing, please call Sony Bellaphone at 786-642-3535. Thank you and have a wonderful day.
Madame, la vie est possible pour aller dans spa.
Not to worry. Fab Bar Medical Spa, one of the leading medical spa in South Florida.
Qui genre de service yo bay?
We offer a variety of services, non-invasive. We offer motion and membership services.
Qui l'en capable prendre rendez-vous avec you?
Our contact number 954-451-3998, 954-817-2826.
C'est ça. Même monsieur dame yo ap chercher.
We're located is in Davie, Florida, 11850 West State Road 84, www.fabbarmd.com.
Non, Favbar MD Spa, yo nan Davie, 11850 West State Road 84, Davie, Florida. Téléphone 954-451-3998 et 954-817-2826. www.favbarmd.com.
At Fabbar MD Spa, I treat myself.
Distinction Air Salon Masterclass. Piyou, pas égoïste. Il veut partager connaissances avec nous tous qui remet fait cheveux. Profitez d'un séminaire 4 jours Tara. qui t'a aimé, vin spécialisé dans fait coup, hop-style, shortcut, soft look, wing install du 21 au 24 juillet 2025. Et puis 9h du matin jusqu'à 7h du soir. Dans distinction Air Salon Masterclass. Vin inscrit pour $150 seulement. Tout frais compris. Il permet de gagner tout équipement qu'on doit servir pendant le séminaire. Ça a un kit complet et un certificat qui servir pour la vie. Comme monde qui compte faire belle coupe dans les cheveux. Vin profiter. Relais Miou. Distinction Air Salon dans 954 822 53 83 124 05 Northeast 6e Avenue North Miami, Florida. 33 161. Distinction Air Salon, c'est notre succès. Obtenons tout du 21 au 24 juillet 2025.
BPX TV Réseau, disponible partout et sur vos réseaux préférés. BPX TV Réseau, l'espoir de la culture haïtienne pour tout le monde.